Hey guys, Walt Bayliss here. I just wanted to bounce an expression I heard yesterday. I was at the gym and one of the trainers said, it's the stories that we tell ourselves that determine our future. And I thought, you know what, that's such an apt saying. That's so important. And I as soon as I finished the workout, I jotted it down. And I've been thinking about it for the last day. The stories that we tell ourselves is what determines our future. And think about that carefully. Like, don't we all tell ourselves stories? Don't we say things like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I can't run that fast, or I've never been good at public speaking, or that would never work for me. I'm not really that tech savvy. She wouldn't really like me. She's out of my league. That guy's always winning trophies. I've never been that good at singing. Whatever the story is that you tell yourself, we repeat it in our mind. And of course, we are the author of that story. And so we get to choose the ending, which is really important. And I guess that's what I wanted to really focus on. We all tell ourselves these stories. And a lot of the time, with the stories that we tell ourselves hold us back. Now, there are times that we say positive things to ourselves. Oh, absolutely. We say things like, I always land on my feet. Things always just seem to work out for me. The money's never a trouble. Jobs come easy to me. Whatever it is that we say that's positive. I love those stories as well. But again, from personal experience, I have to say that most of the stories we tell ourselves are in the negative. And they're based around fear. They might be based around previous experiences. They might be based upon childhood experiences, whatever that might be. But you have to realize that you are telling the story. You actually have to be conscious of the fact that these stories exist, because the stories that we tell ourselves really do determine our future. And because we're the author, we get to determine the ending. So let's take one, for example, where it might be you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to get healthy, something like that. And so you start off on this campaign. You might decide that you're going to cut sugar from your diet. And then something happens and we tell ourselves the story, and it's something like, chocolate cake's always been my weakness. And there's the story. Chocolate cake's always been our weakness. Or it might be something that you're trying to achieve, something that you've set out for yourself as a goal, and somewhere along the path, the story kicks in. And it's the story that says something like, geez, I should have known. All right? That kind of stuff never works out for me. Right? These are the stories. I've never been able to cut down on chocolate. I've never been good enough. And we tell ourselves these stories and we eliminate the chance for success. Being conscious of it is step one. Step one, be conscious of the fact that you're telling yourself a story. And then step two, change the ending. So instead of chocolate cake's always been my weakness, how about you change the ending? And it's as simple as putting a little phrase in the introduction. Up until today, chocolate cake has always been my weakness, but I've decided to change my story from this point on. Do you see how being conscious of the fact that you are telling yourself the story is important? Because as soon as you're conscious of the fact that you're telling yourself that story, you have the chance to change the ending. Up until today, this kind of thing has never worked out for me, but I've decided to change the ending and I'm going to start something different, right? Up until today, I've never been able to wake up and exercise, but I've decided to change my ending and I'm changing it from today, right? You can change the ending of your story. And courage is the master skill that you can take with you and move forward. All right, courage. And it doesn't have to be for a lifetime. It can be just for today. All right? So be conscious of the fact that you tell yourself these stories. And be conscious of the fact that you get to change the ending. Up until today, the story might have been the chapter and verse that I've experienced every day of my life up until today. But I'm the author, I've got courage, and I choose to change the ending. All right? Because that story will change the rest of your life. Every time you come up against something and you hear the story in your mind, thank the author. Appreciate it. I appreciate that that's been the story up until now, but it's not the end of the story, is it? The end of the story is tomorrow. And what I do today will decide that ending, and I choose a different ending. Okay? Tony Robbins talks about it all the time, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Okay? And we all have that choice of two pains. The pain of discipline, the courage to do something about it now, or the pain of regret later. And let me tell you, you don't get a second chance. You don't get to go back to today. You don't get to come back, and you don't get to fix it. All you can do is change the ending now so that you have a different tomorrow. All right? The stories that we tell ourselves do definitely decide our future. And the great thing is you're the author. Keep writing stories that you're proud to be the main character of. Okay? See you on the next update.